At Valvoline, what sets us apart is also what's allowed us to be the first international oil brand to create a quality recycled oil, our independence.
We have a heritage built on innovation. We're not owned by a big oil company, so motor oil is our main business. We don't drill and we don't own wells. Producing great motor oil is our primary concern.
Being an independent company means Valvoline is free to select the best oils available to make all our premium engine oils, including our recycled oil. We can be much more selective because we don't have to use oil that our parent company digs up. Valvoline is free to reinvent oil's life cycle. This is typically where the engine oil life cycle ends, but it doesn't have to. Instead, it can be where oil recycling begins. The big surprise to most people is realizing just what an asset used oil still is and what exactly it can be turned into.
The makeup of most motor oils is essentially 85% oil and 15% additives. The big myth is that the oil part breaks down inside the engine. The truth is that very few of the actual oil molecules break down. It's really the additives that wear out, which they do by design as contaminants build up. The vast majority of the oil molecules don't wear out at all. They simply need to be cleaned and re-refined.
So if we separate the additives and contaminants from the still good base oil, we can reuse it to make high-quality oil. That's exactly what today's modern re-refining processes do. Remove the contaminants and broken down additives to create base oils that are as good as the day that they were first refined.
In the past, we weren't able to get high enough quality re-refined base oils to meet Valvoline's exacting standards. The most common process in the past was acid clay treatment. In this process, used oil comes into the re-refiner, is treated with acid, and then it undergoes a clay filtration. While this cleans up the oil reasonably well, it doesn't clean it up enough to meet Valvoline's exacting standards.
Over the years, new technology and new processes have transformed recycled oil. In fact, re-refining now uses the same processes as refining crude oil. It even produces the same results: engine oil that exceeds the tough standards set by the American Petroleum Institute.
When used oil is brought to a refining facility, it first undergoes a process called flash distillation to remove water, fuel, and other contaminants. Then it is treated to remove heavier metals and other particles. From there, the process is identical to refining crude. Hydrotreaters reduce nitrogen and sulfur and actually refresh the oil molecules. Then a final distillation removes the remaining contaminants and separates the oil into different grades.
But there are two major differences between refining crude oil and recycled oil: time and energy. Without having to find, drill, and extract crude oil, recycled oil actually saves energy, reduces emissions, and cuts fossil fuel consumption.
That means recycled oil has less of an environmental impact compared to refining crude oil.
This is the new oil recycling process. The result is a recycled oil that's every bit as good as new oil. It not only meets industry standards, but also meets the superior standards we set at Valvoline. The same quality, the same protection. Only this oil protects more than your engine. It also protects the environment.